Hi angels, welcome back to another resin video. Sorry about the noise in the back. It's been going on for like an hour, going on 2 hours now. It doesn't seem like if it's gonna stop. Well, let's get straight into this video. So the mold I got from Amazon is from Resin. The alcohol ink is also from Resin. And I have my hot glue. I already mixed up my alcohol ink into my resin and I poured it into the mold. So this mold came in 3 parts, the bottom, the top, and the top. So I'm just putting the top part, which is the bottom part, on top, making sure that it's on there good. And now with my hot glue gun, I'm just going to make sure that I secure the edge so that the resin doesn't leak out or anything like that. I went around the edges a few times because I wanted to make sure that I secured it perfectly on there. And I ran out of glue, so I had to get some more glue. This part is going to be very messy because oopsie, trying to fix it. So with the hot glue gun, it takes like 2 seconds to dry. So in the meantime, I realized that I needed to mix up more pigment. Oh my god, I thought that noise was going to disappear. So I needed to mix up more pigment. So I'm adding more alcohol ink to my resin. And then I'm just going to be mixing it up. Oh, that was my stomach. Mixing. The only thing that I would have done differently is I would have sprayed both of the mold with a little bit of some ibuprofen alcohol, because in this part, the top part, there was some bubbles around the numbers, and I tried to get it out but could not, which is, it's okay. Okay, so this part is so funny. I started putting it down and I realized that I needed to remove the top part of it. I should have been wearing gloves. So I just remove it and I just keep on pouring down the resin inside. You need to do this in a very slow process because sometimes there could be air bubbles and the resin is not going to actually go in there, just like what's happening here. So after I just poked on it, and then I just realized the best method is to actually just blow on it. After you blow on it, the bubble is just going to pop, and you just keep on pouring, and you pour it very slowly. And you can see that it's slowly filling up. Now you can see it's starting to get very messy because once or twice the air bubbles is going to rise, and then when you're pouring down the resin, it's not going to go inside of the mold, so just let me scatter all over the place. But eventually I got it, and I ran out of resin again. So I didn't want to actually mix up more because I figured this was taking way too long and the resin is probably hardening. So I just scoop out some of the red and then put it into the clear resin, and then I'm just going to be putting it into the mold. And that's pretty much it. You can't really see. That's a really bad angle. Angle. Slowly pouring it in. The 3 colors look good together. There were 3 colors. Same thing happened again. And I just pressed down on the mold to get the air bubble to pop. I didn't want to waste any resin, so I'm just scooping up some of the resin that ran over and try to put it into the mold. Okay, now you can see that the mold is halfway full, and now filling it all the way up to the top. So that little plunger thing that we took out in the beginning, we're going to have to put it back in. And that's pretty much it. You're just going to let it dry for a full 24 hours. With this, I would definitely say wear some gloves because this got very messy very quickly. I don't know why I wasn't wearing any gloves. Shame. Shame on me. Just gonna pop it up top, and that's it. And what's next? Oh yeah, I need to get rid of the bubbles out of this. From all of the letters. The bubbles just pop on its own after I scoop it all the way up to the top. And then after that, I just sprayed it with a little bit of some 99% ibuprofen alcohol. And that's it. I can't wait to see how this turned out. Hopefully it turned out good. But I don't think so. I think there's just gonna be like a ton of little tiny bubbles. But I can always make another one. So not really worried about it, I shall say. Let's wait 24 hours. Alrighty, so let's get into this video. So now it's time to demold everything. The top part did not turn out great. It did not fill all of the way with resin, so there are some missing pieces around the edges. Now it's time for the bottom. It was pretty easy to remove from the mold, so that was a win. And now I'm confused about how the mold is supposed to set up, but I got it. And I removed all of the extra resin that ran over to the side. I'm just putting the mold together for the next time that I use it. So that's how it's looking. You can definitely see that a ton of the sides did not turn out that great. So I'm going to have to fill up the sides with some UV resin, otherwise everything is going to be leaking out. So I have my confetti glitter, and I have a ton of glitter that I decided to add in there. First mistake. Way too much of everything. Everything, just way too much. Too much. Just a little drop here and there, that's it. But I'm just going in with the glitters, with several different type of glitters. That is so crazy. Like, why? Okay, so in the corner, I have my distilled water, and I'm just adding on in there a little bit of some pigment. And look at it. It looks so pretty. It is shining. It looks so cute. I'm just filling it up. You can definitely see that there's way too much stuff in there. I could have definitely taken some stuff out, but I did not. Just filling it up. Next thing is, for the top part, I'm just going to add some UV resin around the edge. Just like what I'm doing right here. And then add in the top part on top. Just making sure it fits on there perfectly. And then a ton of stuff started leaking out. You can see. So I'm like, okay, let me just start with my UV light to start secure everything in before I go over it and then fix up all of my little mistakes. So in the corner right there, there's a giant hole. So I just put some UV resin. And I'm just putting my UV light to close it up. Just let that sit on there for a second. There's a hole right there as well. So I'm doing the same thing over and over again until I fill out the space completely. So I'm going over the smaller holes first before I tackle the giant one that's right in front. This whole area, there's nothing there. So I have to be using a ton of resin just going over it and then just making sure that it's secure on there properly. So yeah, that's what I'm doing there. Make sure I get it around the sides, all over. I'm just checking to make sure I didn't miss any spots around the edge, and I realized that I missed a little tiny spot at one of the edges, so going over it with some UV resin and UV light. And I'm making sure that I go around the edge of everything, not just the spots where the hole is, but since I secured the whole thing with UV resin, just making sure I go over all of it with my light. So I'm just checking it to make sure it's good, tilting it over, shaking it to see if it looks decent, which it kind of does. You can see that it's very rusty. There's some bubbles. For my first time, I think it turned out, I don't like it. It's just too much. I add way too much stuff in there and all of the bubbles and all of the little holes in it. So I'm definitely going to have to make another one. But the little blue that I add in there is pretty cool. I should never add no red, but it's fine. You live, you learn. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how it turned out. I was going to paint it in, but it didn't turn out that great. I'm pretty sure that painting the numbers would not fix it. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let it be. Just let it stay how it is. So yeah, that's why I did not paint the numbers. But that's okay. You can see all of the glitters. The glitters usually float to the bottom or to the top. It's not really in the center, but that's okay. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched the video, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for part 2, because I'm definitely going to be making another one.